Hey guys, it's Miss Stefan. Here are your vocabulary words for Unit 5. You're going to need your chart for this week, so if you don't have this in front of you, go ahead and pause the video and see me so you can get it. Let's go ahead and get started. Your first word for this week is going to be aghast. Aghast is an adjective and it means filled with amazement, disgust, fear, or terror. When you are aghast, you would make a face like this guinea pig, who is hairless. If we see this guinea pig, we may also be aghast, filled with amazement, terror, or horror. Your next word is ample. Ample is an adjective and it means more than enough, large, or spacious. If you've ever flown on an airplane, you will see in the picture in the top right-hand corner there is ample leg room in first class, as opposed to coach in the bottom right-hand corner, where there is very little leg room. But in first class, there is ample, more than enough leg room. Your next word, apparition. Apparition is a noun, and it means a ghost or ghostly figure, an unexplained or unusual appearance. If you saw this coming down the stairs, this would be an apparition of something that was not of this world. Apparition, a ghost or a ghostly appearance. Next word is assert. Assert is a verb and it means to declare or state as truth, maintain or defend, or to put forward forcefully. This man here is asserting his opinion about something, his judgment. He is asserting it as, or declaring it as, his truth. Assert. Next word is to cower. Cower is a verb and it means to crouch or shrink away from in fear or shame. This man is cowering from something. He is shrinking himself up into a little ball. He is afraid of something. It may remind you of the word coward, which is someone who is afraid of something. A coward may cower in fear, such as this man here. Cower. The next word is disdain. Disdain is a verb and it means to look upon with scorn or to refuse scornfully. Disdain. If you saw any of the Harry Potter movies, Draco Malfoy spent 7 films looking on Harry Potter with disdain. He looked upon him with scorn. He did not like him extremely. He was disdainful of him. Next word is epitaph. Epitaph is a noun and it is a brief statement written on a tomb or a gravestone. Epi, you can remember the root word meaning after, such as epilogue. It is the little chapter that comes after the book. Epilogue. Epitaph. Taph means burial, so this comes after you are buried because it is a statement written on your tomb. This is the epitaph that is written on Martin Luther King Jr.'s tomb, and it is an allusion to his most famous speech, on his I Have a Dream speech, which is free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. That is his epitaph. The next word is ethical. Ethical is an adjective and it means having to do with morals, values, right, and wrong. We have a scale of justice here. Ethics have to do with what is morally right and wrong. Obviously here right is going to weigh more than what is wrong. Teachers and doctors, many professions have to abide by a code of ethics. They have to swear that they will do what is morally right or wrong toward the people that they serve, and if they are caught not doing this, they could be fired immediately and would no longer be able to practice their profession because of a breach of ethics. So they are held to a standard of doing what is right by the people that they serve. They are told to be ethical. Next word is facetious. facetious, and it is an adjective. It means humorous, not meant seriously. Here's a cartoon. It says stress reduction kit. Bang head here. Here are your directions to get rid of your stress. Place this kit on a firm surface. Follow directions in the circle of the kit and repeat step 2 as necessary or until unconscious. Obviously, this is facetious, not meant to be taken seriously. It is meant to be taken humorously. You would be a lot less stressed if you were unconscious or had a pretty nasty bump on your head. So this cartoon is facetious. Your next word is inaudible. Inaudible is an adjective, and it means not able to be heard. This instantly made me think of Lily from the movie Pitch Perfect, who is inaudible throughout the entire movie.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hello, my name is Elena Grama. I was born with gills like fish.
She is unable to be heard. She is inaudible. Another way to remember this is the word audio, meaning sound. And so the prefix there in, meaning unable, or no, so no audio, no sound. You are unable to hear it. Your next word is indiscriminate. Indiscriminate is an adjective, and it means without restraint or control, or unselective. When you play a board game, you may have a die or a spinner, which will indiscriminately choose a number of spots that you have to choose, or you have to move. So it is without control. You do not control what you land on. It is indiscriminate. A way to remember this is that if you do discriminate against someone, which you can see in there, the word discriminate, then you do control that person. You discriminate against them usually, so they are selected for some reason, so they are discriminated against. You restrain them, you control them, but indiscriminate is random. Next word, intrigue. Intrigue is a noun, and it means crafty dealings or underhanded plotting. Mr. Burns in The Simpsons is always involved in some kind of intrigue. He is always plotting against someone or something. Usually when someone is plotting against someone, they hold their hands up in a very evil plan. So he is involved in some kind of intrigue. Next word is jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is a noun, and it means an area of authority or control. Jurisdiction would break up a region. So here is the United States broken up into regions. You'll see the Central Region, Northeastern, New York Field Office, Washington. So these are all different jurisdictions for a company, an area of authority or control. Jurisdictions. The next word is plausible. Plausible is an adjective, and if something is plausible, it means that it appears to be true, reasonable, or fair. Something that is debated among a lot of people is whether or not the story of Noah and his ark is plausible, whether it is reasonable or true that a man could build a boat that could hold 2 of every animal, and they could all survive a catastrophic flood. Is that story plausible? Does it appear to be true? Next word is plebeian. Plebeian is an adjective, and it means common, vulgar, or belonging to the lower class. Plebeian. The movie Dumb and Dumber is considered to be plebeian entertainment because it has a lot of fart jokes and bathroom humor, and generally humor that makes people of a lower class laugh. Is considered to be something that is not very smart and intelligent humor. It is plebeian. It is common and vulgar humor, and pretty funny. Your next word is prodigal. Prodigal is an adjective, and it means wastefully extravagant, or lavishly or generously abundant. If you are familiar with the Bible, then you know probably the story of the prodigal son. The prodigal son was a parable, and it goes like this. A son is given his share of his father's inheritance while his father is still alive, and he goes out and he spends all of it wastefully. He spends all of it very quickly on extravagant and lavish things, and he comes back home to his father repentant and poor after spending all of his money. They call it the story of the prodigal son because prodigal means wastefully extravagant. He lived his life being wastefully extravagant with all of his money and spent all of it. Up next, proximity. Proximity is a noun and it means nearness or closeness. People who are in a crowded elevator may have claustrophobia because of the proximity of others. They cannot stand having other people in a tight, an enclosed space like that. The proximity, the nearness, the closeness of them makes them uncomfortable and nervous. Proximity. Next is pulverize. Pulverize is a verb, and it means to grind or pound to a powder or dust, to destroy or overcome. Pulverize. This pestle here is a tool that's used in a kitchen to pulverize whole spices. So on the left you'll see what looks like coriander there, and it is that it's being smashed and pulverized by the pestle, and you'll see it ground to a fine dust on the right, so it can be used in cooking. It is ground to a powder. Pulverize. Your next word, sequel, is a noun, and it means that which follows, a result. Probably the most common usage of the word sequel is in the movie franchise, such as the Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious had seven sequels, my goodness. 7 sequels, which means 7 movies that followed the original. 7 results of the original story. So 8 movies total in that franchise. Sequel. Your last word is volatile. Volatile is an adjective, and it means highly changeable or fickle, tending to become violent or explosive. I use teenagers as an example because a lot of people will say that teenagers, because of their raging hormones, are highly volatile. They're highly changeable. 1 minute they may be in a really good mood. 10 minutes later they may be in a horrible mood. 10 minutes after that they may be in a really angry mood. They are highly changeable. They change their minds quickly. Now, of course, that's a stereotype, but some of you guys may actually fit that from time to time. Volatile. All right, guys, those are your words for this week. Don't forget to write down the date of the test that I gave you, and don't forget that the Quizlet link will be on our Canvas. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Have a great week.